1756 Venice. A place where one prison was so feared, prisoners prayed for death instead of escape. But one man refused to die there. Giacomo Casanova, writer, seducer, outlaw, was locked in a boiling hot cell under the copper roof of the Doge's palace. No one had ever escaped, until the night Casanova dug through the ceiling with a hidden iron spike, knowing that if a guard heard even one sound, he'd be executed on the spot. This is the legendary escape that shocked all of Europe. The bells of Venice had barely finished echoing when the heavy iron door slammed behind Giacomo Casanova, the famous seducer, writer, troublemaker, and now prisoner. He had been thrown into the terrible prison known as the Leads, a place carved high under the roof of the Doge's palace, where the sun never entered and the heat from the copper plates above burned the cells like an oven. Most men who entered here never escaped. Casanova? He refused to become one of them. His cell was small, hot, and crawling with insects. The guards mocked him. No man has ever escaped the Leads. Pray to God, you will die here. But Casanova didn't pray. He planned. Day after day he pretended to be hopeless. Night after night he studied every crack in the floor, every shadow on the ceiling, every footstep of the guards. And then he found his chance. A friendly prisoner slipped him a small iron spike, smuggled inside a Bible. To anyone else, it was useless. To Casanova, it was freedom. He hid the tool inside his mattress, pulling it out only when guards changed shifts. Slowly, silently, he began to dig into the wooden ceiling. The work was brutal. His hands bled. Splinters tore his skin. Every scratch of the spike sounded louder than thunder. At any moment, a guard could appear. A single wrong sound, and he'd be executed. But Casanova kept digging. One night, a new prisoner arrived next door. Father Marino Balbi, a talkative priest with a stubborn heart. Casanova whispered through the wall, "If I go, you go." Working together, they expanded the hole into a narrow tunnel that led into the attic above the prison. If they could reach it, they could move freely over the palace's roof. But they had one problem. The escape hole was so small that only one man could climb first. On a cold October night, Casanova pressed his ear to the door. Silence. Perfect. He climbed up, forcing himself through the ceiling. The wood groaned. Dust filled his throat. Below him, he heard footsteps. Not a guard. A mouse. He exhaled in relief. Balbi climbed after him. The two men crawled through the dark attic, unsure where they were. Every step felt like stepping on history, because no prisoner had ever walked these beams before. But the attic led not outdoors, but into a locked storeroom. They were trapped again. Casanova refused to surrender. He smashed at the door with the spike until the lock gave way. They slipped into a second room, then another. Finally, they reached a wide hallway lit faintly by moonlight filtering through a window. Balbi whispered, "We are inside the Doge's palace. If they find us, we hang." Casanova only smiled. "Then let's not get found." They descended a staircase, still pretending to be guests or late-night workers. If anyone questioned them, they planned to act offended. After all, who would believe escaped prisoners would walk openly inside the palace? As they reached the main entrance, a guard stepped forward. "Who are you?" Casanova bowed politely. "Visitors. Accidentally locked in after a meeting. Please, open the door." He said it with such confidence, such elegance. The guard didn't doubt a word. With a nod, he opened the palace doors, and Giacomo Casanova walked out into the night breeze. A free man. Later, sitting in a gondola drifting across the Grand Canal, Casanova watched the lights of Venice sparkling on the water. No chains on his wrists, no guards behind him. Just the quiet laughter of the city he had outsmarted. He whispered to himself, "No prison can hold a man determined to be free." And so began the legend of the greatest prison escape in European history.